Did you know there's a surprising migration happening in America? One that's quietly transforming the big sky country? Why are thousands of Californians ditching the beaches, tech hubs, and city chaos for the mountains, wide open skies, and slow pace of Montana? And here's the wild twist. Many Montanans aren't too thrilled about it. Stick around as we dive into one of the most surprising and controversial geography stories in the U.S. Subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss more eye-opening geography facts. And let us know in the comments, would you move to Montana? Or do you already live there and see these changes firsthand? Imagine this, you live in Silicon Valley. You're working remote now. Rent is $4,000. Traffic is soul-crushing. Wildfires keep getting worse. Then someone says, hey, what if we move to Montana? Mountains, clean air, lower taxes, houses with actual backyards. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, that dream is becoming Montana's reality, and not everyone's happy about it. Let's unpack why Montana has become a magnet for Californians and why some say they're ruining it. The geography of the migration. Montana is huge, the fourth largest state by area, but it's one of the least populated with just over 1.1 million people. That's about the size of San Jose, California, spread across a landmass bigger than Germany. Now add in stunning geography. Glacier National Park, the Rocky Mountains, crystal clear lakes, and golden plains. Wide open skies, it's called Big Sky Country for a reason. Four-season living, yes, winters are cold, but summers, they're gorgeous and dry. Outdoor paradise, fly fishing, hunting, hiking, skiing, camping. So it's no surprise that when remote work took off after 2020, Montana was at the top of the list for many Californians. In fact, from 2020 to 2022, Californians made up the largest group of new residents moving into Montana. Real estate records, moving company data, and U.S. Census migration patterns all back this up. The push factors. Why Californians are leaving. Let's break down the California side of this. 1. Skyrocketing cost of living. Median home prices in many parts of California. Top $800,000 to $1 million. Compare that to Montana's state average, which is around $450,000, though that's rising fast. 2. Natural disasters. Wildfires, droughts, and power outages have driven many out. Montana, yes, wildfires happen, but the scale and frequency are far less than California's. 3. Remote work revolution. Once people realized they didn't have to live in LA or SF for their tech jobs, they started looking for beauty, space, and affordability. 4. State income tax. California has one of the highest income tax rates in the nation. Montana, zero sales tax, and relatively lower income taxes. So in short, less traffic, less smog, less tax, more space. But there's trouble in paradise. All this migration sounds good for Montana's economy, right? Well, not exactly. Many longtime Montanans are saying, this is not the Montana I grew up in. Let's break down the tension. Housing crisis. Californians come in with big wallets, often selling a $1 million home in the Bay Area and buying a Montana house in cash. In places like Bozeman, Missoula, and Whitefish, home prices have doubled or even tripled in just a few years. Locals are priced out. Teachers, nurses, and service workers can't afford to live where they work. And here's the kicker. Some of these buyers don't even live there full-time. They come for hunting season, ski trips, or summer vacations, and leave houses empty the rest of the year. Locals call them zombie neighborhoods. Changing culture. Montana has long prided itself on its rugged individualism, quiet communities, and laid-back, slow-paced life. But many locals say the new arrivals bring big city problems and attitudes, like complaining about gun rights, changing local politics, or treating towns like mini LA. One viral bumper sticker said, "Welcome to Montana, now go home." Ouch. Overcrowding outdoors. Montana's national parks and hiking trails are getting slammed with visitors. Many of them new residents or vacation homeowners. Glacier National Park had record-breaking attendance, which has strained infrastructure and led to restricted access. So, yes, many Montanans don't like Californians moving in. It's a real cultural clash that's reshaping the state's identity, a historical twist. But here's where it gets interesting, that this isn't the first time Californians fled to Montana. Back in the 1990s, a similar trend began, though on a much smaller scale. Retirees were the early wave, seeking a peaceful place with low taxes and a connection to nature. Then came hunters and outdoor sportsmen, especially drawn by Montana's liberal land access and public lands. But what really accelerated the movement? The internet. Once remote work became the norm, suddenly that log cabin in Big Fork didn't seem so remote anymore. Ironically, the very tech industry that made places like San Francisco rich is now fueling the exodus away from it. What happens next? Montana now finds itself at a crossroads. Boom or bust. Yes, the economy is growing. More high-income earners, more demand for goods and services, more attention to Montana's beauty and business potential, but also rising inequality, a disappearing middle class, fear of becoming the next Colorado or Oregon. Some towns are trying to balance growth with preservation. Whitefish introduced zoning laws limiting short-term rentals. Bozeman created affordable housing initiatives. Missoula is fighting to keep public land access open as private development increases. So, why is Montana a magnet for Californians? Because it offers everything they're missing: space, nature, peace, and affordability. But here's the big question. Can Montana stay Montana with so many newcomers flooding in? Or is the last best place about to become the next overdeveloped, overpriced, overcrowded playground? Drop your thoughts in the comments, especially if you live in Montana or made the move yourself. Like this video, subscribe to Geography Facts, and ring the bell so you never miss a mind-blowing story about the world we live in. And here's a final wow-worthy fact. Despite all the people moving in, Montana still has more cows than people. Seriously, that's geography for you. Let's keep exploring the world, one surprising story at a time. See you in the next video.